Love, celebration, a promise of forever. That's what brought her to Tanzania. A 31-year-old woman full of life, full of dreams, stepping into what would have been of one of the happiest chapters of her life. But within 24 hours, that dream would turn into a mystery. A vacation, an engagement, then a death of an very popular influencer. It started like a fairy tale, a romantic getaway far from home, surrounded by beauty, adventure, and love. She traveled with the man she trusted, her boyfriend. And in Tanzania, he asked her the question many people wait a lifetime to hear. He proposed, and she said yes. In that moment, everything felt right. A future was unfolding, a new beginning had just begun. But behind the smile, something wasn't right. The night before her death, she made a phone call to her parents. She told them she and her fiance had an argument, not a small disagreement, but enough that they chose to sleep in separate rooms. That call will be the last time our family ever heard her voice. Please watch.
My daughter Ashley, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashley Robinson, who goes by Ashley Janae on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashley's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashley called saying she and her fiancé got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiancé.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashley was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
And the family says next they are considering going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get as many answers as possible. Now, we also tried to directly contact Ashley's fiance, the resort, and the embassy, but we did not hear back. I'm live in the Satellite Center. Cheyenne Curran, Channel 6, Action News. Back to you.
Yeah, heartbreaking for that family and unfolding halfway around the world. Thank you, Cheyenne.
The next day, everything changed. She was found unresponsive, rushed to the hospital, and then she's gone. Less than a day after saying yes, she was pronounced dead. Then came the call, not from authorities, but from the man who had just asked her to marry him. She told her parents she had died by suicide, but something didn't sit right. The details were unclear, the explanation incomplete, and the question only began to grow. Watch this.
31-year-old internet celebrity Ashley Janae was found dead in a hotel room in Tanzania, and investigators are working hard to determine what exactly happened during this seemingly perfect vacation. The photos during the trip showed smiles, celebrations, and a surprise engagement ceremony that many fans described as a dream moment. Officials stated that the incident is currently regarded as a suspicious event, and investigators are carefully reviewing the timeline of the couple's activities in the last few days. The most perplexing thing is that Ashley's social media account activity remained normal after she was discovered. At the same time, some fans began to notice another thing. Although Ashley often publicly shared details of their relationship, John rarely replied to her messages. This comparison has attracted attention online. Even more distressing is that it was reported that her family initially learned of the unusual situation through an emergency call. The police have not released all the details yet, but the investigation is ongoing and more results will be announced soon. Breaking news.
Her family refused to accept that explanation. They said she was not suicidal. Not in her words, not in her behavior, not in her spirit. To them, this just wasn't just a loss, it was a story that didn't add up at all. As investigation unfolded, a new detail emerged. The autopsy revealed marks around her neck, a detail that raised even more concern, a detail that shifted the narrative from tragedy to suspicion. And what really happened in that hotel room? Those are the questions people are trying to answer now. What occurred between the argument and the moment she was found unresponsive? Why are the details still unclear and sketchy? And most importantly, who is telling the truth? And aside from her case, there are other similar cases that is trending lately that people are talking about. Please watch this video. Authorities in Tanzania are now investigating, searching for answers, examining the evidence, trying to piece together the final hours of a life that ended too soon. At the center of it all is a young woman who should still be here, a daughter, a future wife, a life interrupted, and a family still waiting for the truth. Because sometimes the most dangerous place is not where you travel to, but who you travel with. Now, this case is still developing. What do you believe happened? Share your thoughts below, but please be respectful. Subscribe for updates because this story isn't over yet. And women, please be careful. There's nothing wrong with finding love, but do it with your eyes wide open. This is so many successful women, women that are doing well in their career. A lot of them are just dying, being killed by their husband or boyfriend. Although this is under investigation, nobody knows the conclusive truth yet. But similar cases have happened that they are somewhere with their boyfriend, their fiancé, and they are killed. A lot of women are dying deaths they shouldn't die. Nothing wrong with love, but please do it with your two eyes wide open. Pay attention to the red flags. Don't ignore them because you are in love, because it could cost you your life. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more.